For thousands of years, humans have looked to the night sky for answers. The stars often guide us through our lives without us realizing it. Every culture has looked to the stars for their own form of deity or their own form of questioning and answering. This questioning and answering is known as astrology. Astrology is formally defined as the study of movements and relative positions of the celestial bodies interpreted as having influence on human affairs and the natural world. Astrology has been used over thousands of years in every ancient and modern society. It began in around 3000 BC and has roots in calendar systems used to predict seasonal shifts and celestial changes. Astrology was known as a traditional science that would further astronomy until about the 17th century when it was used as a pseudoscience known by skeptics. Astrological observation began in Mesopotamia around 3000 BC as they would name early constellations and wandering stars. These wandering stars would soon be known as the planets. The Babylonians discovered the zodiac. The zodiac is a sequence of constellations along which the sun and planets appear to move in their passage through the night sky. This can serve as a marker of celestial time if divided into equal segments. They selected 12 constellations to represent these segments, as many of them identified the names of animals. The constellations were Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpius, Sagittarius, Capricornus, Aquarius, and Pisces. Many of them resemble the names of the animals the Greeks would later provide the term for zodiac as they would describe as animal circle. Astrology became very important for the Greeks when they would conclude and recognize the deities they worship belonging to the planets and the constellations. India has had its own form of astrology from perhaps as early as 1000 BC. With Greek influence through the Hellenistic period, the Western version of the zodiac was introduced. Over the course of time, astrology has had modern purposes. In modern astrology, during the 1920s and 30s, this was furthered by Evangeline Adams. She was the modern popularizer of astrology. In the 1920s, she would be arrested for being a fortune teller. However, most of her predictions were correct, but the skeptics thought that she was. But many people were skeptical because astrology was being recognized as a pseudoscience. A key difference with traditional astrology is that modern astrologers streamline many methods of traditional astrology. For example, a traditional astrologer might occupy himself with a variety of calculations and minute observations to assess the relative strength or weakness of a planet in a horoscope. The main talk of modern astrology today in millennial society is the personal impacts of zodiac signs. The most commonly discussed zodiac sign is people's sun sign, regarding the position of the sun when one was born. However, there are the moon signs and the different planet signs which regard the position of the planets when somebody was born, and that would bring in the time and place of birth. Astrology is used today to calculate the movements and changing of the night sky. Astrology still is used to help and further astronomy and shouldn't technically be considered a pseudoscience because it does help the furtherment of astronomy. Astrology has been used for many reasons over time. It has guided people through their choices, told many stories, presented power, and allowed for self-reflection. Astrology has been very controversial upon its accuracy. However, people only think of horoscopes when they think of accuracy about astrology. However, astrology has been used as a guiding system for seasonal shifts and the movement of the stars for thousands of years, and that's the basic science of astrology. But with the horoscopes and with the zodiac signs and the impacts on people's lives, astrology can be like any faith. It just takes somebody to believe.